Ever wondered what secrets lie within the borders of the countries we think we know so well? Well, fasten your seatbelts and make sure your tray tables are in the upright position because we're about to embark on a worldwide journey. We're diving deep into the lesser-known facts that make our planet's nations so incredibly diverse and fascinating. From the mystical lands that exist without a single river, to the sovereign states that, on paper, don't exist at all. We'll explore the countries that will make you question the very fabric of time itself, and the territories so desolate, they remain uninhabited. This journey will be fun, informative, and thought-provoking, a true testament to the wonders of our world that often go unnoticed. So are you ready to challenge what you thought you knew about our amazing planet? Prepare to have your mind blown as we take a journey around the globe. Imagine a country without a single river flowing through it. Can you guess which one it is? Yes, it's Saudi Arabia, an expansive land of desert, the world's largest country without a single river. It's a bit of a brain teaser, isn't it? A country with no rivers, yet it's not just sand and tumbleweeds. There's life, culture, and a story to tell. So what does it mean for a nation to not have a single river? How does it impact the environment and the lifestyle of its people? Let's dive into it. Firstly, without rivers, the primary source of water becomes underground water reserves and desalinated seawater. The absence of rivers contributes to the arid climate, making Saudi Arabia one of the driest places on Earth. But it doesn't mean life doesn't exist. The people have adapted and the country thrives. In fact, the absence of rivers has played a significant role in shaping the culture and lifestyle of Saudi Arabia. The nomadic Bedouin lifestyle, for instance, revolves around moving from place to place in search of water and pasture for their livestock. Furthermore, the lack of rivers also impacts the country's agriculture. Farming is often limited to certain regions where water is available, and the country relies heavily on importing food. But don't let the lack of rivers fool you. Saudi Arabia is not just a barren desert, it's a country of contrast, where you can find lush oases and expansive sand dunes side by side. It's a testament to the resilience of life, and a reminder that even in the most challenging conditions, life finds a way. And let's not forget the country's impressive feats of engineering. Saudi Arabia is home to one of the largest desalination projects in the world, turning seawater into fresh water, making life possible in this riverless land. So there you have it, Saudi Arabia, a country without a single river yet filled with life and culture, and an enduring testament to human adaptability. Yes, not a single river in sight, but still life thrives in Saudi Arabia. A country that is recognized by only a handful of others sounds like a riddle, doesn't it? But in fact, it's the reality for Taiwan, a vibrant island nestled in the heart of East Asia. Despite boasting a thriving economy, rich culture, and bustling cities, Taiwan finds itself in a unique geopolitical conundrum. Most of the world does not officially recognize it as a separate nation, largely due to political reasons. These political reasons trace back to the mid-20th century, when two rival political parties in China, the Kuomintang and the Communists, ended up in a civil war. The Communists emerged victorious on the mainland, establishing the People's Republic of China, while the Kuomintang retreated to Taiwan, setting up their own government there. Since then, both sides have claimed to be the legitimate government of all of China, creating a two Chinas dilemma. The majority of the international community, including the United Nations, has chosen to recognize the People's Republic as the legitimate government of China, leaving Taiwan in a diplomatic limbo. This means that Taiwan isn't allowed to have embassies or consulates in most countries, and it's also excluded from international organizations such as the United Nations. This lack of recognition, however, doesn't hinder Taiwan's spirit or its progress. It continues to flourish, establishing itself as a global leader in technology and innovation, and providing its citizens with a high standard of living. Its capital, Taipei, is a modern metropolis teeming with skyscrapers, including the once tallest building in the world, Taipei 101. Taiwan's situation is a testament to the complexity of international politics. It's a country that on paper doesn't exist to most of the world, yet it pulses with life, culture, and progress, a living contradiction to its diplomatic status. In the eyes of some, it doesn't exist, but for its people, Taiwan is as real as any other country. Ever thought you could time travel just by crossing a border? Well, in a world as wildly diverse and fascinating as ours, even this seemingly far-fetched idea becomes a reality. Yes, you heard it right. We're talking about a place where you can quite literally time travel, no DeLorean or flux capacitor needed. Picture this. You're standing on the border between China and Afghanistan. Now these two countries share a 76-kilometer border, but what's truly astounding is the time difference between them. Just a single step across this border will transport you 3.5 hours into the future or the past, depending on which direction you're headed. But what's the reason behind this significant time gap? The answer lies in the way time zones are determined. Time zones are essentially 15-degree-wide longitudinal bands that circle the Earth. Each band represents 1 hour of time difference from the Greenwich Mean Time, or GMT. However, countries have the autonomy to choose their own time zones. China, despite its vast size spanning 5 theoretical time zones, has chosen to follow a single time zone, known as China Standard Time, which is 8 hours ahead of GMT. This decision, largely political, stems from the desire to unify the country under one time zone. On the other hand, Afghanistan follows the Afghanistan Standard Time, which is 4.5 hours ahead of GMT. As a result, despite sharing a border, there's a whopping 3.5-hour time difference between China and Afghanistan. So if you're in China and cross over to Afghanistan, you'd technically be stepping 3.5 hours into the future. Conversely, if you're in Afghanistan and decide to visit China, you'd be going back in time by the same amount, without the need for a time machine or any complex scientific theory. And there you have it, folks. The world is indeed a place full of surprises. So next time you're planning a trip, why not consider a little time travel adventure? Just a step across the border, and you've time traveled, quite literally. What if I told you that there is a country where no one lives? Well, not exactly no one, but close enough. Let's take a journey to the Pitcairn Islands, a British overseas territory, which holds the distinction of being the least populated national jurisdiction in the world. Yes, you heard it right. The entire population of this territory could fit into a single school bus, with around 50 people calling it home. Now, you might be wondering, how does a place sustain with such a minuscule population? It's a valid question, and the answer is as intriguing as the fact itself. The Pitcairn community is a tight-knit one, where everyone knows each other and relies on one another for support. They work together, sharing the responsibilities of maintaining the infrastructure, like the power station and the telecommunications system. The island's economy relies heavily on external sources. Revenue comes from the sale of coins, stamps, and PN domain names. Yes, you can have a website ending with PN if you fancy. Tourism also plays a part, albeit a small one, due to the island's remote location. The Pitcairn Islands, however, are not without their challenges. With a population so small, every loss is felt deeply. Emigration poses a significant threat to the island's future. As the younger generation moves away in search of opportunities, the islands are left with an aging population, raising concerns about their long-term sustainability. Yet, the people of Pitcairn are resilient. They have managed to carve out a life for themselves in this remote corner of the world, far from the hustle and bustle of city life. Despite their small number, they have a strong sense of community, a shared history, and a deep connection to the land. In the vast Pacific Ocean, these islands exist, somewhat forgotten by the rest of the world. They stand as a testament to human adaptability and the power of community. The Pitcairn Islands might be the least populated national jurisdiction, but they are brimming with stories of resilience, survival, and a unique way of life. From an uninhabited island to countries that don't officially exist, we've taken quite the global tour. We've unearthed some truly fascinating facts along the way. Remember when we explored Saudi Arabia, the land without rivers? A massive desert kingdom that thrives despite having no flowing water? Or how about Taiwan, a vibrant island nation that isn't universally recognized? It's a country, yet not a country, a paradox that keeps you thinking. We then ventured into the time warp between China and Afghanistan, where crossing a mere 76 kilometers results in a staggering 3.5-hour leap in time. Talk about a quick time travel. Lastly, we set foot on the scarcely populated Pitcairn Islands, where the inhabitants can be counted on your fingers and toes. So next time you look at a world map, remember, there's more than meets the eye. Until our next adventure, stay curious.